Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Soulcation Podcast. I have the honor of interviewing Lamar Tyler. Just to give you a little background about him, he's the creator of Traffic and Sales and Profit, which is a success formula that takes your online profits to the next level. As a filmmaker, he has directed and produced 6 full-length documentaries on challenges and triumphs of the Black community, and at every screening, over 500,000 Facebook fans have been there. That's a lot of people. Okay, you've probably seen him on the Today Show, in Essence Magazine, the Parenting Magazines, Ebony, Black Enterprise Magazine, Entrepreneur.com, TV One, basically all over the world. Okay, just to sum it up, because he's that guy. Okay, welcome to the Soulcation Podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. Okay, so we were talking before the show, so give me a little background. How did you get started in everything? Let's go back to college. Did you know you were going to be doing what you're doing today?
I knew I would be an entrepreneur. And that's pretty much, I knew like even way before college, I know I was interested in entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. I used to, I don't know when, but like I remember like around high school, I bumped into Black Enterprise Magazine and I would look through the pages and be impressed, say one day I'm gonna be on that cover, which I'm still aiming for, right? I still got to get there, but I say one day I'm gonna be on that cover, and I was enamored by entrepreneurship. So even as I started my career, which my background is in IT, information technology, even as I started my career, I still knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know what shape that would be in.
I love it. So you saw the magazine, and then what expired? Because you and your husband, you and your wife started a blog together. So how did that intertwine?
Yeah. So, we were married. I was working. I ran the IT department of a TV station in Washington, D.C., and I would always pitch them my ideas around the internet because they were trying to get more into the web and what they were doing. I always picture my ideas. They always would kind of turn them down and shoot them down. And they didn't have valid reasons why they would do it. So at a certain point, I'd say, you know what? I'm not giving them any more of my ideas. I went home to my wife, no longer would they get my $1 million ideas. We'll use them ourselves and build our own $1 million business. And from there, the first thing we did is we said, let's create a blog. Now, this is not sexy like it is today. We got all these bloggers and influencers, and they pop locking at halftime of the Super Bowl and all. This is not what that was. Look, this is back. This is 12 years ago. This is like 11, 12, 13 years ago. Yeah. We launched our first blog December of 2008. And what it was is we said, what's something that we're passionate about so that if it takes off, we won't hate doing it. I won't feel like, hey, this is cool. It's an opportunity, but I don't want to do it anymore. And what's something that we can write about that people will want to read. Because I'm not the type of person that just likes to write. Some people just feel like they have something in their spirit and their soul they need to let out. That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm writing, somebody got to be reading, else I'm not doing it. So we said people love talking about relationships. And then as we dug deeper, we said, let's not look at relationships. Let's look at specifically marriage and marriage inside of the Black community. Yeah. Because we felt like too often somebody will come into a room and say, hey, I'm getting married. People will roll their eyes, suck their teeth, say, don't make the same mistake I made, all this kind of stuff. So we say, hey, let's attack that. And let's also attack how marriage outside of the Black community or how marriage in the Black community is viewed outside of it. Yeah. So what we did is we started a site, blackandmarriedwithkids.com, December 2008. We launched it, immediately took off. We had couples that said, hey, we've been married 20, 30 years, so we know that these successful images of marriage exist. We thank y'all for doing it. We had singles that said, my parents been married 40, 50 years, but I never see them represented on the TV. I never see those stories told about our community in the newspaper, in the magazines, right, on the radio shows. So we basically gave a voice to Black couples to say, hey, you know what? We out here and we love each other. Yeah. We gave a voice to Black fathers to say, hey, there are Black fathers in the home taking care of their kids and somebody else's kids. But again, that's not the story we chose. So we began to tell those stories. We began to then create resources for these couples, and it just took off from there.
What did you learn about yourself during this process, since you got to interview so many people?
You know what I tell people all the time was the blessing in it was it definitely aided our marriage. Because at the time we launched it, we'd only been married 2 years ourselves. So we were still new to marriage ourselves. My wife and I have a blended family. She had 2 kids and we had 2 more. So we were going through, blended family drama, which is step family drama for those who don't know. Communication issues, all kind of stuff that everybody else go through. So being able to sit and talk to so many couples, from newlyweds to couples that have been married 40, 50, 60 years, really gave us insight that we wouldn't have had otherwise. And it also gave us a roadmap of, okay, these are the things oftentimes that may lead marriages to fail, but then it also gave us hope and inspiration.
Yeah.
That, okay, these are couples that have been through drag out communication problems, that have been through financial crisis, like no other way to put it, but crisis, that have been through infidelity that you couldn't believe, but guess what? They made it back and came back stronger than ever. So it really shifted our lens on what we thought marriage was. It really shifted our lens on what's possible in marriage when two people come together, what two people can overcome when they push to try it. And then what we really realized, one of the biggest nuggets of doing the whole thing with Black and Married with Kids phase of the business, we still run it, but when that was the primary thing, what I would always tell people, like the biggest thing for a couple staying together is just two people that are willing to commit to put in the work and actually make it last. It's like it's not necessarily like communication issues lead to divorce or marriage issues, because we've seen couples overcome all of that. It's literally, do you have two people that are willing to say, hey, yeah, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to go get therapy. I'm willing to go get counseling. I'm willing to invest in resources. I'm willing to put some of my own stuff aside. I'm willing to work on my baggage and actually be able to pull through it. So it definitely helped us in our own marriage so much. Then we were able to begin to build a platform. Like I said, we have over 500,000 people on the Facebook page. We've done cruises and workshops and conferences where most of the time we're not even teaching. Like, we just build a platform we can bring in other experts and people to actually deliver the message that maybe they wouldn't have been able to get in front of as many people as they could through Black and Married with Kids.
That's so good. How do you, and this is the last question on that, how do you even have that conversation with a boyfriend or a fiance, like you're starting off and you're like, hey, it's some stuff we trying to sweep under the rug before we even say I do, but maybe we should like hash this out with somebody, with a third party, and maybe your guy's like totally against counseling, totally against therapy. What would you say then?
Oh, I got so much to say about this. How you gonna make this the last question? We gonna turn it to a Black and Married with Kids interview. How you gonna...
I know we're gonna do a part 2.
For one, what I would tell, this is what I tell people. I tell my close friends. I tell everybody this all the time, right? There is a difference between dating and being married. I'm gonna repeat that. There's a difference between dating and being married. If all is not well during the dating process, right? Be willing to put in that work. Talk to the other person about putting in that work. If that person does not want to put in the work while y'all dating, it may be best to move in a different direction before you get married. Because a lot of times I think what happens is people say, you know what? Well, he ain't willing to do this or she ain't willing to do this. But when we get married, things will change. Oh, when we get deep into it, when we have kids, when we get the house together, when we living together, when we, or they think that things will just go away. And what I will say, and what I have learned from talking to so many couples, is that things do not just go away. Things may go to the other room for a second. But then when something happened in your marriage, in your relationship, those things come back like, hey, we still here, what's up? So like those issues are not just disappear on their own. At some point, it has to be you cultivating and digging deep to actually overcome those things. A lot of times, especially in our community, right? People like, they don't want to have somebody else in their business. They don't want somebody all in their stuff. But in order to work through and build beyond a lot of that, we need that to happen. And if I would say, if a person's not willing to do that before marriage, that would raise a severe red flag with me. Because I would be concerned, like once you get married, there's a whole lot more going on. It's a lot harder to get out of that thing than it is prior. And if I could, like, I'll just throw this in. I would encourage people still towards marriage, because I think a lot of times in our community as well, people begin now to have a fear of marriage. But the thing that's interesting is we have a fear of marriage. We don't necessarily have a fear of having children together. And having children together is way more permanent nowadays than actually being married to someone.
Okay.
So I don't want people to think that like we get married, like I'm not encouraging, but you can get out of that marriage. You have a kid with somebody, no matter how much of a knucklehead they are, a knucklehead you are, y'all locked in forever. And I ain't talking about just till you 18. I'm talking about when that kid get married, you there and they there. That kid gets sick or have surgery down the road, you there and they there. That kid need help or resources, you there, they there. So the way we look at things, right? I think it's out of perspective a little bit sometimes. So couples like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to do this right. Marriage is a beautiful thing. If you can find the right person, when you connect with the right person, we always say it's not addition, right? It's multiplication. It's like the things you can accomplish together are exponentially more than you can do on your own. When you got two people that are in the same mindset headed towards the same area. So I want to encourage you, but I will say, like, hey, be willing to able to get the help do all the work that you can before you walk into that thing, so that you know what you're walking into, the baggage that you bring, and you know what the other person's bringing, and then you know that you're both willing to work through it.
That's good, Lamar. I hope y'all sending him a tithe and offering right now. Good. Okay, so let's get into traffic, sales, and profit.
Yep.
So what are the basic 101 steps to build an online presence?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question, right? In a segue, like, so as we built Black American Kids, a lot of people saw us building it and blowing it up. They say, teach us to do what you did. So we launched this other brand, Traffic, Sales, and Profit. We said we're going to help train entrepreneurs on three main things: how to drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow more profit in their business, right? Because people pretty much fall in one of these buckets most of the time when I meet people. There are people that have a great product or service. When they talking to somebody or somebody see it, they buy it, but they just can't talk to or get enough people to see it. And those are the people that have issues around traffic. Now, when we talk about traffic, right, you talk about what are the core pieces. It's three main things people need to focus on. You can build traffic, which is organic growth. It's things like social media. You posting on social media, you going live and you live streaming. You built a group or some type of community and you got people into it, which is great. And that's how you build those ride or die, those tribe members. But it's slow. People that have done it know, right? They're like, man, I'd had a group for 4 or 5 years, Lamar. It's 62 people in the total, and we're going up one a month. Like, I'm not going to get to a 7-figure business this way, right? This not going to happen. I don't see it in the cards. So it's slow, but those are your ride or die people, it's slow. The other thing, you can borrow traffic, right? And this is how we accelerate the growth of these communities. Borrowing traffic is when you go to somebody that has already done the work of building and attracting people that meet your demographic. They, the age, the background, the education, the amount of money they make, whatever it is that you need your people to do to buy your service, they've already built an email list, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, offline meetup that they do every Saturday. Like, they've already built this. So then you can tap into those people and just find out how you can serve them. Maybe it's selling something and they get a cut or a commission. Maybe it's you creating content for their website. And in exchange, they let you, at the bottom of that content, link back to your group or to your product, to your service. Maybe it's you doing free trainings for their group or their community. So how can you serve them? They've already built that. So it's borrowing traffic. The last one with traffic is buying traffic. That's things like Facebook ads, Google AdWords, right? It's basically advertising, but we're just leveraging online to advertise, because leveraging online gives you a much more granular reach. We used to advertise radio for our Black American Kids, the documentary films you mentioned. We would go to radio stations, say, hey, we coming to St. Louis. We screening at the Tivoli down in the Loop. What can you do? And the radio station say, all right, give us thousands of these dollars. We got 10 bazillion listeners. And we like, it's 10 bazillion people living in this area, but everybody ain't listening to y'all. You know what I mean? And then they going to try to stash you at 1 a.m. or something like that. No, put me when everybody in their car, driving to work or driving home, right? So all these games, but then you never really know what the metrics looks like. The beautiful thing about social media and online is that I can spend money online and it'll show me exactly how many people this got in front of. Exactly how many people clicked, how many people bought, right? So buying traffic, that's the great thing about it. It's like a faucet of water. Literally, you put the money up, you turn the faucet on, the people come, you turn it off, they stop. The thing about it is, if you don't know who you're targeting, if you don't have a great offer, if people see it and don't buy, you can spend a lot of money in the process too. So you got to get granular about who it is you're serving. So traffic, like I said, sales will help people try to convert more when people get to their pages or get in front of their product or offer, online or offline. And then profit, like I said, we focus on not just how can you make money, but how can you keep more of the money that you make.
Help us, Lamar. Help us. I think that's the biggest problem starting off, is especially because a lot of our listeners are doing well professionally. So they got coins in the bank from their 9 to 5s and they're building offline, myself included. So remembering I'm still running a business at the same time. This is, even though I have this, pretend like this isn't there, So when you have that mindset, what would you suggest when we're building our brands, building our businesses while having 9 to 5s? What should we be doing on this side? Oh,
that's a great question. I love talking about this kind of stuff. Can we get into it? Can I ask permission? Can we get into it?
Let's go.
I love this conversation because this is the journey me and my wife took. We had 2 very busy full-time jobs and transitioned out. So the first thing I'll say is that you got to treat that side hustle like it's your main hustle before you need it to be. And one of the biggest problems I see with people that work a 9 to 5 is the side hustle is always just this little plaything. It's like, it's my plaything on the side. But then what happens is A lot of times an unfortunate chain of event happens. It could be a pandemic. It could be an economic drop. It could be scaling back. And then you get laid off, and then you beat yourself up because you said, I've had this thing on the side for years that I knew I should have done. People love it. People tell me they want more of it, but I have not focused on it. And now it's too late. Now I need to support me, but I've not done due diligence and built it in the process like I have. So everybody that has ever done that before, you just nod your head in agreement, right? We there. Don't worry, we're going to work through it. If you're not there, I don't want you to get there. So I want you today start treating that thing like it's a business. People say, well, Lamar, I don't have the time. If you are serious about building that thing, you have to make the time. So I tell people all the time, we launched our business, the blog I talked about. I ran the IT department for a TV station. My wife was a project manager for IBM. We had 4 kids, age 11 and under. I had an hour and a half commute to and from work, back and forth in the DC area every day of the work week, right? So, and my wife had like a crazy job schedule too. So when I would get home, hour and a half to work, hour and a half back. I walk in the door, it's already dinner time. She'd had a crazy day at work. Plus she'd had the kids, right? Running around acting crazy. She had to help them with homework, make dinner, because I'm getting home so late. Then when I get home, it's dinner time to bath time to bedtime for the kids. I can't start working the business till 9, 10 o'clock at night to 2, 3 in the morning. Somebody out there know what I'm talking about that's listening. So we had to get real clear that, hey, even though this is not optimal, even though I don't love being up late, I got a vision for something that's bigger than what I'm currently doing. Amen. And in order to reach that vision, in order for me to get to where I want to go, I have to do more, right? In order to reach it. Because there's no way, I always tell people, like, the rat race is not designed for you to escape it. Can I repeat that one time? The rat race is not designed for you to escape it. So don't think that you magically going to find time in your, a lot of people say, you know what, this is my busy season. They say, Lamar, this is my busy season. You know what I'm saying? So in my busy, like, I'm expecting things to slow down next year. And there's people that said that last year. And they say, you know what, when the spring comes, that's when I'm going to focus on my business. Then coronavirus, COVID-19 came. Then they said, you know what, like, I'm going to get past this. Then the economy came. Then civil unrest came, right? You never can put off things for the future. So you have to get activated and hit it now. So make the most of the time you have now. Create time now. Buy back the time you have now so that you can get more done. The other thing I'll say for people that are looking to make that transition, because people always say, Lamar, you know, how do I make the transition from my 9 to 5 to my full-time thing? And it's a few steps. Can I share a few steps?
All of them, please.
All right. I wanted to make sure I was good. So it's a few steps. The number one thing that we say is, of course, on that side thing, you have to build up the revenue so that it can support you. Now, if you really want to get out of there, notice what I said. I didn't say so that it can replace what you're doing or the income you're making. I said so it can support you. When I left my 9 to 5, right, had a cushy 9 to 5, you know, well into the 6 figures. It was an amazing. When I left to do the business was not even a 6-figure business yet. But what the business was, is it was trending upward. And it got to a point, and everybody, listen, you got 9 to 5, it's going to get to this point. You get to a point where you got to make a decision, because your business can only grow so far without you giving it your full attention. So it got to a point where it was either my job or the business, and they were competing for my time, right? You look like this familiar right here. and they were competing for my time. And it got to a thing, I only had like 2 weeks of vacation on my job, but I was like, we opportunities were coming. And as we got deep in the business, the opportunities got bigger, and I needed to be away in other cities and doing things and making it happen. And I ran out of vacation. So the thing was, I was getting to a point where it's either, okay, I can't work on the business anymore. I'm on the bench until next year, which stifles the business and the growth. And you never know when the opportunities to come in business will come around again. Yeah. There are no guarantees, right? So you can't be turning down stuff. But on the other hand, you know, they were just fighting. So we built up enough revenue so that it could cover what I need to cover it for the bills. And the part of the bills I paid, like the business as we grew it could cover that much. It didn't replace my salary to cover that. I said, Lamar, if I leave, because that's how I talk to myself. I say, Lamar, if I leave, this amount I make, I should be able to make more, because I'm working the worst hours of my day. 9, 10 o'clock at night to 2, 3 in the morning, sometime all the way through the night. I'm falling asleep on the keyboard. So if I can do the work I'm doing, but instead do it at 8, 9 o'clock until 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, if I can call people and answer emails back when they send them to me, and not all in the middle of the night or trying to schedule them to go out the next day like I'm pretending I'm sending them to them live, right? And get back with people. I can do more business development. I can close more deals. I can close more sales and make it happen. So we pretty much set up everything. We positioned it that way. We grew it enough so that it could support us. It didn't replace anything. It supported us. And then I was able to make that jump. And then once I made the jump, what I had to do is I had to write something on the whiteboard in my home office. And in this office, I wrote on the whiteboard, what are you doing to make money today? I want to repeat that. What are you doing to make money today? Because too many people make the jump. And when they make that jump and they make that leap, I don't know what happened, but they don't be working. You know, it's like, no, I'm place that. They work, but what they do are not what I call MGAs. MGAs are money generating activities. So you know, engaging, you in the comments on Facebook, Instagram, that's great. But is that actually generating money? Now, you could be, hey, I'm launching something on social media. I'm doing a live stream and telling people to go to my page and buy something. That's an MGA. That's cool. But too many people don't spend time doing that, right? So every day I need to be doing something that's going to make me money in the very near future. Now, it could be some stuff that may pan out months from now. Of course, that's cool. But every day it got to be something that's going to hit soon. Because what you'll find out is if you do not focus on the money generating activities, your runway will be short. You'll run out of cash quickly. And then you'll be forced back into the 9-to-5. And then when you get forced back into the 9-to-5, a lot of people have feelings of failure, feelings of I didn't do it right, feelings of, you know what, I thought that was for me, but it just wasn't for me, and all these self-limiting beliefs. So I don't even want you to get there. And then what I'll say real quick, because I know it's been long, real quick, I'll say for the folks is, like I said, first, make sure you make enough so that you can cover yourself, not necessarily replace everything, but cover yourself and then grow from there. Second thing we did is we had to get rid of debt. So we paid off while I was working as much as we could so that our expenses were as low as possible, right? And I'm going to say something that might be radical to some folks. Some of you need to get your stuff and go live somewhere else. And I'm not even talking about like I need to move from my fancy condo downtown to
teach us.
Hey, it might be it, but you might need to just pick up and go to another city. So I lived in Maryland in the Washington, D.C. area. And I'd always wanted to move down south, right? So me and my wife had talked about it. She went to school in Atlanta, always wanted to move to Atlanta. So when we made the transition, I came and said, hey, I'm about to leave the job. I've always wanted to move down there. You said you'd be down for, a few years from now. This is a few years from now. So what do you think? Because I said, if we move down there, the cost of living is way cheaper in Atlanta than it is in Washington, D.C.
Right.
And literally, we were able to move into a house that was the exact same size square footage of what we had in DC, and our mortgage instantly dropped $1,000 right away. So again, right, you might just be living in some place where it's not even you or your business, but it just may not be conducive for you to be an entrepreneur in the city or state that you're in. So like, are you willing to pick up and move how bad do you want it? I guess would be the question. Yeah. And then what are you willing to do to actually make that happen?
It's so funny that you say that because in the state of California, whether you make $1 in your business or $1 million, you have to pay $800 just to have a business every single year, even if you don't make any money, right? So literally right now, I'm leaving San Diego soon and moving to Atlanta or Huntsville because I'm in both places. So hard choice because I love San Diego, but it's about being smart. And if I'm gonna make money today, I have to keep the money that I have.
Yes, that's major. Oh, that's a good one. Can you say that one more time? I think somebody might need to hear. Look, I don't mean to turn to the host, but can you say that one more time? I think somebody might need to hear that.
So, but if I want to make money today, I have to keep the money I have.
That's big. I don't think people pay enough attention to that, and that thing is major. And when I looked at this, is another thing that drove me to where it drove me to, which I'm not a spokesperson for Atlanta, but I do tell everybody I know they should be here. But what I will say is I tell people this all the time, is that when we were moving, I looked also and I said, where's everybody that's doing what I want to do full time? And everybody that was doing it as an entrepreneur full time, living out their dream, I'm calling them from work at lunchtime. I'm looking around the corner, make sure ain't nobody coming. I'm like, hey, can you take a look at my website? I want you to explore something, give me some feedback, right? Everybody I knew was in Atlanta. So I said, you know what? Like there's obviously something going on there that's not going on here because everybody I know here makes good money, but they all make good money working for federal government, federal contractors, or somebody else. So let me go where the entrepreneurs are because there's different. And what I found, and this is, Atlanta's not the only place in the country like this, but it's one of the best. what I found was a thriving environment for entrepreneurship. And then this is what I didn't realize till I got here, Logan, was that when I got here, the cost of living piece is what made entrepreneurship so prevalent. And I didn't realize that till because probably like, hey, if you from California, you live in California all life, you from New York, you live in New York all your life, you think that's what it is. It's like I condition myself living in the DC area to be like, it's just houses just cost this much. Like, this is what we do. Like both of y'all better be working hard and making a whole lot of money. Else you're going to be in the hood and somebody breaking in your stuff, right? It's like, can't it be one person making good money? Like, it got to be both. Like, you got to hustle crazy, like, just to live.
Yeah.
And when I got down here, what I realized, because the cost of living was so much lower, there were a lot of entrepreneurs and there were a lot of stay-at-home parents. Two things I never saw in the Washington, D.C. area. And I noticed that all of that changed just because the location changed. It wasn't nothing about me, wasn't nothing different, it wasn't no networks I was connected into, just from the location. So that's something just people may want to think about.
Yeah. And I'm from Mississippi. So when I moved out here, I was like, man, I made it. It's cool. You know, time kept rolling. I'm like, sis, wake up. Get clear, okay? Let me ask you this question. After you have built your community, how do you stay connected? What has worked for you all?
Yeah, so what we do is most of our community traffic sales and profit is based around a free Facebook group. So I encourage everybody on Facebook to search traffic sales and profit with Lamar Tyler. You'll find it. So we got a free Facebook group. I'm in the group every day engaging. We do these challenges once a quarter. We call it the More Sales Challenge, where I just want to like get people into action, right? I say all the time, it doesn't matter like what you learn, what you read, what you hear me say. If you don't take action, it's all worthless. So we do a More Sales Challenge, get people strategies, get them into action. So my thing is really, how can I engage with people when new people come to the community? I like to drop in the comments and welcome them. And I spend a lot of time nurturing that audience. And I want them to win there, because if they win in that group that's free, then when we do our conferences and events twice a year, then of course they want to come. And the group is not like, the events blow the group away. So most of the time they're blown away by the group. When they come to the conference or the event in person, it's game over. And then, you know, once they come to that, it's another level with our programs and coaching and things like that. So like I said, with us, it's a Facebook group that we engage heavily, and we want them to experience wins. Even before they spend any money with us, we want to just provide them with value.
I love that. That's good. Okay. Anything else you want to share with the audience about traffic, sales or profit? Anything else about the formula?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, just I want everybody to get dedicated and get focused, right? What I find is that too many people don't get focused enough on the money they make in their business. What I find a lot of times is that people don't have exact goals. Like, you should have a goal. There should be a revenue goal that you craft every year. You say, this is the number we're going for. If you don't have a number you're going for, you're just going. So like let's like get clear about like, this is the actual amount of money exactly I want to make. If I know the amount of money that you want to make, then guess what we can do then? Then we can divide that by 12 and say, all right, you know, if I want to make, 100, let's say you want to make $100,000. So let's say, let's say 100,000, easy number. A lot of people say that when they first starting out, they make six figures in business, they cool. So let's say $100,000. And if I can break that into 12, that's going to tell me I need to make $8,400 and some change every month. So if I know I need to make that every month, then I can even break that down, divide that by 30, and that'll tell me how much money I need to make every day. And then I literally can track, like, am I making this amount of money every day? Am I making this amount of money every month? If I have a high month, that let me know, hey, I'm on it, I'm good, I got a little surplus. If I have a low month, that let me know, hey, I'm $2,000-3,000 behind this month. What can I do next month to make what I need to make, plus an additional $2,000 or $3,000? What product or service can I launch? How can I advertise differently to hit my actual metrics and goals? When you have those goals, it makes you do that. It makes you look and say, you know what, I didn't hit it. What can I do to speed up? When you don't have goals, you're just kind of going along and taking whatever come your way. So just being intentional about it like that, having goals. And then also, if I have a revenue goal, what I can do is I can figure out, like, all right, what's my AOV? AOV is your average order value. When people spend money with you, on average, how much do they spend? So if it's a coaching program and I say, all right, on average, people spend, $1,000 with me. If it's a bundle of products, maybe they spend $500. So if they spend $500, I'm going to, divide that, whatever goal it says, 100,000 by 500. And that's going to tell me how many of those orders I need to make a year. So then I already know, like, I know how much money I need to make. I know how many orders I need to make. The same thing, I can divide the number of orders I need to make by 12, that's how many orders I need to make every month. Divide that by 30, that's how many I need to make every day. And then literally I'm measuring myself, my revenue, my orders against something that I'm racing towards, which is that goal at the end of the year. And I can always see, am I doing good? Am I doing bad? Do I need to do more? Can I chill just a little bit for a second because I'm ahead of the game? And it allows me to kind of go from there. So have some revenue goals. Look at your business and treat it like a business, and just get serious about what you're doing. Then last but not least, I say join a community of like-minded people. I will say that. This is one of the things we had success with in TSP, whether it's the free community or paid communities. When you get around other people that are aspiring to do the same things, is magic what can happen. Because a lot of times your family's not interested in what you're interested in. And that's cool, right? That's not what they're there for. Your friends that you grew up with, right? They interested in some old other stuff, right? That's cool. Like, that's not what they're there for. So we have to find new communities of people that are trying to build a business just as bad as you trying to build a business. And they understand what it's like to be up in the middle of the night, to be doing something else on the weekend, that you can't take every trip, that you've invested money in a conference or coaching instead of investing money in the newest car or the newest fashion or this fun trip, right? And then they don't look at you like you crazy or what are you doing like your friends and family might. They look at you like, okay, what do we call this? We call this a Wednesday. Let's keep moving. You know what I'm saying? And let's move towards the goal.
People definitely look at you crazy. You spend a G on a coach? Well, yeah, I would have spent a G on a trip. So
exactly. And what's the return from each one?
Teach Lamar, teach the kids. Last question on that. For the creatives who are all about the ideas and the building, but the money piece and the numbers, it's just scary and a lot. So what would you say to that person?
I feel like this is a planted question because I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. and literally I had this conversation with one of my real good friends yesterday. And what I told her, I said, you get in a position where you let your creative side take over your business side. All right. I'm going to repeat that for everybody listening. For the creators, I love y'all, right? You get in a position where you let your creative side take over your business side. And what that does is that creates more undue stress on you. Because when you don't focus on the business side, then what creatives do is they not just create, but they start creating a whole bunch of stuff. And they get a whole bunch of ideas and they're not focused on none of them. Or they're not focused on the most important ones, which are the ones that build revenue. So what I tell my creatives is still focus on what's the thing you love to do and that can provide enough revenue so that you have a stable income, a stable way of living, and whatever you want your life to be. Because if I can provide enough revenue through this business model, then what that actually does, a lot of creatives feel like they're constrained and that like locks them into a box. But when you got this business that's thriving and is working and is giving you what you need financially, then that actually gives you freedom so that you can try all these other things. But now you don't have to try those things with the burden of trying to make them make money. I can go over here and do this thing just because I want to, just because I love to do it. I can go do this other thing just because I love to serve people. I can do this other thing because I always wanted to just do it and wanted to know what it would be like or if people would respond to it. But I still got the main thing that's making money, driving revenue, and supporting me and whoever else I need to support. So I'm good. When we don't focus on one thing, we trying this thing, trying that thing, trying something else. Most of them are failing because most things we do fail, right? What can we learn from and then educate ourselves and move forward? Most of them are failing. We need money because most of us need money to live. So then we get in modes of desperation and it's just like a downhill battle. So like I said, create something that you love doing, but still build revenue. That'll give you more freedom to try other things on the fringe and kind of keep moving forward. And really, like I said, the more discipline you have, the more freedom it actually creates. It feels counterintuitive, but it's the truth over and over again. That's
so true. Is there anything that you all have coming up that the community can support or attend, even if it's virtual?
Definitely so. Definitely so. And great question. We actually have 2 events coming up. So we do 2 conferences a year, one in January called The Game Plan, one in June called TSP Live. TSP Live was originally here in Atlanta in June, but because of what's going on with pandemic and state regulations and large gatherings, we have had to shift it back to October. So that's October 2nd and 3rd. But what we've done is that for everybody that had a ticket to TSP Live, because our people like, look, Lamar, I can't it's like they need that TSP fix like every 6 months. They like, I can't wait. So what we've done is actually in the place of TSP, we've given them a second virtual event called TSP Thrive. So in addition to TSP Live, when you buy a ticket for TSP Live now, everybody already had a ticket, they get a ticket to TSP Thrive. For the people that didn't already have a ticket, they can actually buy live stream access because now we're sold out. So they can go to www.tsplivetickets.com. That's tsplivetickets.com. You can get live stream access and you'll have access to both TSP Live in October and TSP Thrive, which is the 26th and 27th of this month. And TSP Live in October is all about sales, marketing, advanced strategies to help you drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow more profit. TSP Thrive this month, we created specifically to address the opportunities that are available right now through the pandemic. And I know a lot of people are looking and they watching the news and they saying, man, it's like a terrible time to be in business. It depends on who you are and what business you're in. Because a lot of my clients are having their best months ever because they leverage online. More people are at home right now than ever before. More people on the internet than ever before. More people shopping. E-commerce, which goes up, percentage-wise every year anyway, in my estimation, has probably jumped ahead 3 years because there are people ordering online and buying things online that they've never bought online before. And when this thing is over and it slows down, everybody just won't go back to doing what they were doing. You're not going back into every store to buy everything you bought in the store in the mall before, because now you have some new brands you've tried out. Now you got some new companies that you've shot with. Now you realize that, hey, you know what? I got this and I ain't have to go nowhere. And it felt good. It felt good for it to just show up on my doorstep. Yeah. So we're looking at what are the opportunities that exist? How can we move through the crisis? And how can we make sure, because this is what I'm telling all my clients directly, how can we make sure we not only survive this time, but actually thrive in it so that we come out stronger than we were when we actually went into it?
So good. I'm here for it. We're actually going to share all of these links on the bottom of the podcast in the show notes. So make sure you all check that out. Thank you so much, Lamar. This was amazing. I took notes while you were talking that I'm going to implement in my business like today. This was really, really good.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here. And thanks for the opportunity. It was great sharing with you. I love your energy, right? And this is great. You got to have me back one time.
Yes. We're going to have to do a part 2.
Yes. I love it. Let's do it.
All right. Make sure you all share this episode with your best friend. Make sure you leave a review. Let us know what you thought about it. Make sure you follow Lamar on all social media platforms. That's going to be in the show notes also. And I'll catch you all on the next episode of the Soulcation Podcast. Have a good one.